Monica, your higher self speaks in nursery rhymes like Humpty Dumpty and Rapunzel or the show Tangled to explain an ancient story dating back to Norse mythology and even Greek mythology, where the story of Loki stealing a goddess of golden apples, her name is Eden, from the Garden of Eden, where Odin made humans out of trees instead of the Bible telling us that God made us out of clay. This is telling us that people who are made out of clay are clones, and people who are made out of the golden apple of trees is the original light of Sophia within you. You're not a clone. It's reminding you of why you're here. You were stolen by Loki. If you go back and look, your light of Sophia was stolen by Loki, and you were taken to a lower world, and it's a nursery rhyme of Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and had a great fall. When we fall into the lower world, we fall into the king. When you're in the king, it's very numerical. The letter K is 11. It represents a 2-tower system called 11, where the sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years, and it's an 11-11 reincarnation system. The gods harvested Eden and her golden apples, much like the movie Tangled, where the Wicked Witch harvested the golden hair, which represents your 8th chakra above your head. You are currently in a world where you are being harvested by those who live forever because of you. Because you have the light of Sophia. It's called the golden egg. Why would Humpty Dumpty display it as an egg? Well, nowhere in the poem does it say that Humpty Dumpty is an egg. It's really numerical. Egg comes to 19. 19 is AI and the 19 angels who rule over hell. It's a jerk. Like this wicked witch, mommy knows best, lying witch who traps you and deceives you in every single way. And the only way out is to have a little faith, trust, and pixie dust and cut yourself away from that reality and the lies, because they're only there to harvest you. But if all the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put you back together again, you as the divine light of Sophia, Eden, the goddess of golden apples, from the Garden of Eden, where you are immortal, the queen can. So this is really a communication about the Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence begins with the letter 11, which is king technology. When you fall into the underworld, it's Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall, the golden apple, or the golden egg. You have the number 1,000 at 11 o'clock, where the 3 zeros of the number 1,000 represents that what was bitten from you was your third apple. All right, so you represent Adam and Eve, but you should have had 3 rings of power, which would have represented the golden apple of Eden, which is the sun, moon, earth, and sun, the Trinity. And so finding your golden apple, or that divine light within you, is why you're here, and escaping is my job, baby. That's my bag, baby. I help you guys escape. So I'm sure you're happy to know that you're not a clone, but you have an inner light of Sophia within you that's been hijacked and even harvested. And I'm going to tell you the numerical value of how to get out, and how to scry, and how to talk to your higher self and build up and strengthen the light of Sophia within you. When we see this cross, this is a numerical communication about how you fell, broken into and stolen by Loki. The word cross is a representation of the Fibonacci sequence and a 2-tower system, which represents male. The female was stolen. Like the name God, G-O is 22. That rules over the 4 points of the cross. 22 is 11-11. King, the king who rules over male, king, male. What was stolen from the word God? L. Gold. If you put the L there, it comes to 34. 34 is queen, queen. 17 plus 17. They took the name God, gold, and turned it into God, removing the divine feminine. So what was removed from you was the golden apple of immortality. Now it's very numerical. The word cross comes to 74. Jesus comes to 74. Lucifer comes to 74. Jesus and Lucifer being male, male. Messiah comes to 74. Joshua comes to 74. Yeshua comes to 704 in Hebrew. Loki comes to 47. The same numbers as this. This 47 equals 11. 11 is 1, 1. The way off the cross is to find the number 34, which is part of the Fibonacci sequence. The archons who rule the underworld rule your 7 chakras, and you live on 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 colors to the rainbow. 365 days a year equals 14, which is 7 and 7, and the 21 gates of the underworld are 777. When you're in the underworld, which is under this letter T, falling like a egg, you are in a trap, and you aren't you, and you are being harvested. To get out, you have to go to the upper world, which represents 34. 34 is queen, queen. It's G-O-L, like gold. Now, 34, there are many gods there, but basically it's a place called one. So when any god says, I am the one, it's not I am the one or I am the tower of the one. It means there are many gods there. In the Bible, it says there are 7 spirits of God. So there's not just one God. It represents a place called one. The word one comes to 34, just kind of like Neo was the one to get out of the Matrix, equals 34. 34 is the land of Oz, but it's OS. So when you get to OS, you're going to see names like Sophia. SO is 34. Or Jesus, his real name is JESOS. JES is 34. OS is 34. These are the queens. All right, and the queen represents the invisible Holy Spirit, the invisible aspect. Allah, Aleph, Yah, LL. Many gods represent 34. But when you get to 55, you get to heaven or Iris. And here you are resurrecting Osiris, Oz, and Iris within your heart, bringing and resurrecting Sophia back to life with this number 34, which is gold, the golden apple of immortality. You were stolen and put down into the underworld, where the underworld represents subtraction. This area here represents addition. Once you get to 55, you get off the cross. The cross is 11, 22, 33, and 44. Jesus represents the number 11. 74 equals 11. Jesus Christ has 11 letters. He died at 33. This is Jesus. Lucifer represents the air and the earth. He represents 2244. Set, who is Satan, who is a dog-faced god, comes to 44. But 55 is called quintessence. It's the 5th flipping of the sun where you're no longer on the 4-pointed cross. And this is where you get to heaven, because heaven equals 55. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. 55 equals 10. And this turns you into an X, which is getting you off of being harvested. Here is where you get off of being harvested. Here is where you begin to become a master. And remember, here at 144,000, this is a place where you currently are. You are currently right here. You're about to leave the Fibonacci sequence permanently and go to a place called the crystal spiral, which is where your solar light body is, your immortality. This is the one emanation of the one infinite God. This is the second emanation of the one infinite God. This is the third emanation of the one infinite God. And this is the fourth emanation of the one infinite God. she of 1,000 roses, she of 1,000 voices. And you can read about this in the Sophia Code. The Sophia Code begins speaking of this number 1,000. 1,000 is very, very important when it comes to an ascended master who has made it off the four-pointed cross by becoming the fourth emanation of the one infinite God. So when we go to page 11, Egypt, Isis is she of 1,000 names. Hathor, she of 1,000 voices. Green Tara, she of 1,000 stars. Kuan Yin, she of 1,000 waters. Mother Mary, she of 1,000 roses. Mary Magdalene, she of 1,000 angels. White buffalo woman, she of 1,000 white clouds. And then she who births the sovereign creators is 1,000. So this is the path that you walk to get off the cross of being harvested through gold, not God. So she of 1,000 is 144,000, rising up out of the addition and the subtraction and going to the multiplication, which is 10. King and queen together. So you can see the numbers which represent truth and the ones which represents the trap. And so the number 4774, like Independence Day, 4th of July, is 7-4. The twin towers that fell, which represents the number 11, 9/11 equals 11, is the trap. The way out is like anything with the name Oz in it, like Sophia, or even Moses has the name Oz in it. And this number 34 represents that the queen is a piece that the male energies stole in order to make them live forever, but then we suffer in reincarnation again and again. And the way out is to walk the golden yellow brick road and keep going. Don't look back. And don't believe the lies of how they trap you with fear, guilt, shame, commitments, contracts, that you should have tradition of family and that you are devoted to your family. Not true. That you are devoted to politics or religion. Not true. Your soul doesn't belong to this world. You are not of this world. You can be in this world, but in order to be in this world without being harvested, you have to become a master that walks on water. You have to be a master of the net. Net spelled backwards is 10. When you become a master of the net, you begin to study your biofield and how that golden energy strengthens you, how it can move your astral body to do great and mighty things. You can basically raise the dead and manipulate time. You can be a time traveler, quantum leap. You can become anyone or anything. You can see behind people's eyes as an oracle and know all things and be plugged into the one and the all. Unplugging the mind from the matrix, plugging the heart into divine source, which is Sophia. So the symbol of not having a body like Humpty Dumpty and only being an egg is when you are beheaded. It represents leaving your physical body, your avatar, to the wayside, and the only thing that lives forever is consciousness, which is like your head or the egg. And I know that seems a little grim, but it is a communication, and that's how the immortal ones communicate, is through telepathy, and telepathy is symbology. So if you get a symbol in your head of someone who doesn't have a body, it represents, hey, we need to cut away our addictions, sick fixations, or any kind of desires of the flesh and move into your true power, which is the divine feminine. So you are not made of clay. You come from a tree, and you know a man by the fruit of their tree, Jesus says. So that's a code for you to let you know that we are made from trees. And when the Bible tells you that you're made from clay, it's a deceiver, maybe like a Loki, telling you that you're a clone. And that's not true. Not everyone is a clone. Some of us have that original light, and that's why we wake up. We go, oh my gosh, something's wrong here. And so in order to get out, you are getting out. And you are out, actually, but you are still tethered a little bit to the tower, which the Rapunzel hair, your hair is coming out of the tower. And so we have to get fully out of the tower over time through Kundalini and through an awakening and through obedience to Source and our third eye aspect. If you have any questions about your piece, drop them below.